You can manifest anything. You came here to know and experience each and every one of your desires. Manifestation does not need to be complicated. All it boils down to is moving into your desired level of consciousness. What this means is, if you want to be a wealthy person, adopt the state of consciousness that a wealthy person would have. And the same goes for health and relationships and whatever else it is that you desire. In this video, I'll show you 5 techniques that you can use to move into your desired level of consciousness so that you can live the life you know you came here to live. Your reality is a direct reflection of your consciousness, and like I said, the only thing you need to do to manifest is to move into your desired level of consciousness, and one of my favorite ways to do this is just by seeing the world as if my desires are already here. And here's a quote by Neville Goddard to really drive that point home. Life does not care whether you call yourself rich or poor, strong or weak. It will eternally reward you with that which you claim as true of yourself. In other words, see the world as if you are the person who already has what you desire. Start seeing yourself as the person who has the wealth, the relationships, and the health that you want. And this applies to any desire. See yourself as the person who has it here and now. For example, getting a surprise bill in the mail isn't a big deal to someone who is conscious of being wealthy. An example from my own life, I dropped my phone and cracked the screen. The screen would barely turn on. All I did was take it to the repair shop and moved on with my life. I wasn't concerned with how much it would cost. It's just something I needed to get done and got it done. But years ago, there was a time where if that happened to me, I would have a very hard time maintaining a wealthy state of being. But it's not the number in your bank account that determines how wealthy you are. It's how wealthy you assume yourself to be that is going to determine the money in your bank account. So the second technique you can use to help shift into your desired state of being is doubting. I know it sounds kind of negative, but as we move through this point, you're going to understand how valuable this technique is. And mainly I use this technique for when you're having a hard time shifting into your desired state of being, because it'll give you the space you need to remove yourself from the negative state of being that you want to move out of, and then you can move into your desired one. So if you find yourself in a tense or undesirable circumstance, you can just say and feel to yourself, I doubt anything bad's going to happen out of this. I doubt it's going to be as bad as I think it's going to be. And what this does is it kind of removes you from that situation a little bit so that now you have more space to start moving into your desired state of being. So one way I used this is years ago I had rear-ended somebody. It wasn't that big of a deal. There was just minor scratches on either of our cars, and I didn't think much of it. But then fast forward a couple of years later, it turns out the guy is suing me. He's claiming he has all these back and neck problems, which maybe he did, I don't know. Now odds are nothing was going to come of this situation anyway, but the idea of going to court still gave me a bit of anxiety because I had moved towns at that point, and if I was going to go to court, it would be a 6-hour drive one way. I would have had to stay in a hotel for a couple nights and, show up in court. Anyways, all I did was, I doubt I'm going to go to court. I doubt this is that big of a deal. And like I said, it probably wasn't ever going to be a big deal, but I still had anxiety around the situation. And how I relieved it was just doubting that anything was going to happen, because I was having a hard time, getting myself out of that spiral. So, I just doubted that anything bad was going to happen. It gave me that little bit of space, and then I was able to start moving towards my desired level of consciousness. It's a very simple technique, and the main thing you want to take away from this one is that it's just a tool to give you that little bit of space you need to get out of those negative loops, to get you into a more neutral space, so that you can start giving life to your desired state of being. The third technique is called I Remember When, and it's a great tool to use because the present moment will one day be a memory. For example, if you're not as wealthy as you would like to be, just think and feel to yourself, I remember when I wasn't as wealthy as I would like to be. Now money's not an issue and I can spend my time doing what I love. Take your present situation and whatever it is, turn it into a memory. For example, if you want to be wealthy, remember when you were poor, but do it now as the wealthy person you would like to be. So this is really similar to the first technique, seeing the world as if you were already the person you want to be. So another way to look at it is, how would you see the present moment if it were a memory and you were already the person you desire to be? Now the fourth technique is to imagine your day has already gone your way. So this is a technique I used a lot when I was at a job I didn't like. Basically, I would just imagine my day had gone by fast and that it was good. So what you want to do is, before you even start your day, imagine yourself driving home, just thinking to yourself how quick the day went by and how great it was. And another way you can use this is if you have specific events going on in your day, like meetings or doctor's appointments or presentations, just imagine them going well. And this can even be applied to things that are fun, like if you're going to a concert, imagine yourself leaving the concert thinking to yourself how amazing it was. What you imagine always precedes what happens in the physical, so you can pretty much create your day, which I think a lot of people miss. They get stuck on the lottery wins or the house or the perfect relationship, and they forget about the average day to day, which is super important. And when you consciously create your day to day, oftentimes those build bridges to the bigger desires that most people are looking for. Now, the fifth technique I call what if, and it's similar into the doubting technique in the sense that it gives you the space you need to move to where you want to go. So if you feel stuck at a job you don't like, or you just feel like you can't get out of that feeling of poverty, just imagine to yourself, what if? What if something happened that took all your problems away and you landed your dream job, or you randomly came across a large sum of money that paid off all your bills? It doesn't need to be super specific, and you don't need to dwell on what ifs all day. Again, this is just a tool to give you that space you might need so that you can move into your desired level of consciousness. And I really like this technique because it's easier said than done sometimes to ignore your physical reality when it's telling you you're going to be eating rice for the rest of the month. So remember, don't imagine what ifs all day. This is just a quick tool you can use to create the space you need to move into your desired state of being. Like I said at the beginning of the video, manifesting boils down to moving into your desired state of consciousness. If you feel you need more help moving into your desired state of consciousness or state of being, stay tuned for my Mystic Mentorship program. It'll be free and will be available within the next couple of weeks. You'll get a 2-week course along with 2 weeks of one-on-one mentorship, another 7-day video course, as well as an ebook. It will only be free while I can handle the amount of people in it, then the price will go up with demand. So stay tuned and don't hesitate to sign up when it becomes available. Another thing to keep in mind is manifestation does not work on its own. Use the tools you've learned so that you can make the shifts you need to make so that you can manifest and live the life you know you came here to live. What this means is to consciously create the life you want to live rather than imagine passively about the world around you. If you made it this far, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.